Could we have a socialist in the White House? A shocking 2028 poll shows Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leading the Granite State and leaving former Vice President Kamala Harris way in the dust. And AOC isn't exactly running from the attention.
There was a UNH poll that came out that had you surging in 2028. When you see that, what do you think?
I feel very, humbled by the support of everyday people. I think that, polls go up, polls go down. That's kind of part of how all of this works.
Joining me now, Democratic strategist David Carlucci and Republican strategist Luke Ball. Luke, I'll start with you on this. Very interesting to see the first in the nation primary state of New Hampshire eyeing AOC, and she's showing a lot of humility. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the socialist flukes have become the figureheads in the Democrat Party. And in the midterm elections coming up, the Democrats have to battle on two fronts. They have to defeat the Republicans, but they're also waging a civil war within their own party. Are they going to continue supporting candidates in the DSA like AOC and Mamdani and a whole host of other candidates who have won their primaries, I think well over 3 dozen across the nation? Or are they going to get back to their more moderate centrist roots? And as Republicans are starting to wage their battle against the communications efforts that the Democrats have thrown at them and the messaging points, I think that we have a stronger position to come in and point out the hypocrisy that the Democrat socialists want to raise costs on Americans while Republicans are fighting to lower costs.
David, you know, AOC certainly has name recognition. To a certain extent, she has momentum. She's not exactly the fresh face, but people know who she is. And now with some of the fresh faces being quite a bit more controversial and more radical, she seems like the more moderate socialist, if you will. Could that appeal to the New Hampshire voters?
Well, yes, definitely. But I think we have to remember New Hampshire is traditionally a start, not a finish. And this is a snapshot of just one state that may or may not be early in the Democratic primary process. We're not sure about that yet. But look, I think this also is a watershed in terms of AOC breaking through to be someone that should be considered in the running. But look, 22 points is nowhere near a mandate. I think she's just 1 point ahead of Buttigieg. And this idea that democratic socialism is taking over the Democratic Party, it just doesn't hold up. I mean, it's something we can talk about on cable news, but the reality is that moderates are still winning. It depends on the district. You can't just copy a campaign in Brooklyn and paste it in Phoenix and expect it to work. Greg Statton, he won his race in Arizona as a moderate because he fit the district, not because he fit Twitter. And that's the reality. Democrats can be a diverse coalition, and Republicans are showing that they really can't be. Yeah. So I think as we head into the midterms and into the general for the president, it's looking like the wind is at the back of the Democrats.
Yeah, sort of making that all politics is local argument. But, while I have you, both socialist candidates have been, surging across the country this week. In Arizona, their momentum stalled a little bit with this moderate candidate winning big. David, we can start with you. Is this a sign with the progressive wing, the sign of the progressives not really being as popular as this story that is being told right now, David?
Well, look, I think they have a lot of advantages right now. The climate, whether it's Republican or Democrat, is looking anti-establishment. They want a fresh face. They want younger candidates. They want that energy. And the DSA can offer a lot of that. But of course, it's not cookie cutter. You have to meet the district where it is. And that's why you see a moderate won in a contested race in Arizona with Greg Statton. You saw John Baldacci in Maine fight off a very progressive socialist candidate. So it depends where you are. But I think this is the strength of the Democratic Party, that it is a coalition.
And Luke, I want to give you a chance to kind of take us home on this issue as we're seeing this develop in the Democratic Party. Your thoughts?
Yeah, if it becomes front page news that a Democrat socialist candidate finally lost to a moderate in a state that Trump won by 6 points, I don't think that shows that the DSA is losing strength or energy. It just was a stump in their momentum. It was like one race out of 30 plus races across the country. And the centrists might be more than willing to allow the DSA candidates to come into their big tent party. But the DSA candidates have no intention of allowing the centrist candidates to remain in that party. You're hard pressed to find aligned people with the Democrat moderates who are doing well with the base. The energy is behind the socialists. They are on the rise, and it's why you see people like AOC polling so well in the presidential primary election among a whole bunch of other centrist moderates who are also in that race.
They certainly seem to be having a moment. We'll see how much gaining they do in the actual House and what they do with that potential powder. You know, there's still months to go, 100 days when we wake up tomorrow. David Carlucci, Luke Ball, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it.